Good afternoon, good morning, beautiful people. Welcome back to Just Ask Bear.
Hey, what's up,
Was
bestie?
that
I see
natural?
you. That was natural enough. That was great. Thank you, bestie. What's up, everybody? This is King of All Bears, and you're tuning in to Just Ask Bear podcast. Today we got the lovely bestie, Fierce and Jonas. Happy birthday, Jonas. The real James, Cashlin Official, Queen Nisha, and my underpaid engineer, DJ Joe. I'm messing with you, Joe. I'm messing with you. All right. Today's subject is, do we feed off of other people's energy, and is it necessary? Let's talk about it. I feel like some people's energy can set the tone, but I don't really have to feed off of anybody else's energy because I bring my own. Even if you're a Debbie Downer, or you could be a person just like always, Debbie Downer, always sad. It don't matter to me. Like, I could turn up. I turn up on my own. I'll bring the positive through the negative. But that's me. What about you, Joe?
Dang, I feel the opposite.
The authority that I have. When I step into a broadcast, it is very necessary or step into a room. Matter of fact, my parents always taught me to walk with authority, and basically, back then they was talking biblical sense to walk with authority. But in 2019. Not saying that I graduated from that era, but I kind of did, sort of, because I've learned energy, you know what I'm saying? And with authority, I'm not saying that I have to be the bully or the boss, but I do have to say that, it's obligated for me to walk with authority when I walk into a room, set that tone, when I'm doing my podcasts, you know what I'm saying? It's important, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't know what I'm walking into. The reason why I've been using Born a Champ issue as an example of energy and setting the tone, because I never heard my brother, I never heard his energy in that manner. So this morning he had to bounce off of my energy because it was just that powerful. I knew that it could have set the tone for a horrible podcast. So when I came into his broadcast, I had to turn my authority-ness on, not to boss him around, not to take control of his podcast, because he definitely gained all of his authority back within 30 seconds. And the reason why I know it was in 30 seconds, because he used that energy that I had to start off with in the podcast to re-invenuate it. I don't know if I use that word right, but
reevaluate.
Thank you. Reevaluate everything that had happened. Yeah, the situation. So yeah.
Okay. I mean, I hear you. I mean, and see, you wasn't feeding off his energy. Right. You were setting your own energy.
Right.
You set the tone. Mm-hmm. But he fed off of your energy.
Right. I feel like when you have people in your corner, it's very important. I should be able to feed off your energy because, sometimes I don't have the best of the days. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like people energy around me is very important. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
Just in case. I could wear a smile but be so depressed in the inside. And you might just say something to spark that. Go ahead, Cashlin.
Facts.
Go ahead, Cashlin.
I think that's very important. The example you gave about not Sugar Bear, Champ was a more important one because sometimes you have to have friends or people in your circle that can help you shift that energy, not in just like certain situations, but maybe how you view your circumstances. So this is kind of like a checks and balances thing. Like if you keep good people, good energy around you at all times, you're able to balance it out. Even when you're not having the best day your situation isn't like what you think it should be, you have somebody that kind of helps you balance out your energy and come back to where you need to be.
Agreed.
Definitely.
Just to give my 2 cents, in life, and it's not like a Libra thing, but in life is duality, is polarity. Okay, so too much of anything is not good. All right, so that's why I don't care about if people drink, do drugs. Bro, you drink too much water, you'll die, right? So my point is, too much of anything is not good. So it's a balance, just like you spoke of. You ever done like so good and you're like, yo, like, let me do something wrong just to kind of balance myself out? Like, I don't know, like, you can call it like your petty days. Call it what you want to call it. But like, yo, I'm about to be petty.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, it's
At
like,
first I didn't.
I mean, you can call it whatever you want to call it. You can use any, synonym to like call it whatever you want to call it. But like, you're balancing yourself out. It's that polarity, that duality, right? Mm-hmm. So again, you have to feed off of people's energy. I don't want to say feed because feed means like digestion or something like that. When you set the tone, that's different. That's not feeding off of no one's energy. That's actually feeding off the environment. If I'm setting the tone, I'm telling you what the fuck it's about to be, right? So that's different than like, let me throw an ad lib in there. That's feeding off your energy because I'm throwing an ad lib in there. Oh, he rapping, yo, I'm gonna bring some tunes or whatever. And it's kind of like when I first met DJ, right? Like, it was kind of weird, like, because we're very similar but very different. It was kind of weird, like, sitting back and just watching him do his thing. Because normally, like, that's what I do. But it was also like, oh, wow. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it was, okay, like, let me take a step back. Not in a negative way, but in a positive way. Because sometimes, just like, Joe, he'll play devil's advocate. Is that negative energy? Maybe. But not all negative energy is negative. Like, think about it on a scientific way, right? You got your nucleus, but you need positive and negatives. When you plug in your iPhone, you need positive and negatives to keep the charge. So how come negative energy has to be bad when it helps you charge your phone? So it depends on how you look at it. So I go off of everyone's energy.
When we speak of do you feed off other? Well,
absolutely, I have to.
Can you pick up on other people's energy? Yes. Is it? Do you need to at times? Yes. Joe used myself and what happened this earlier this afternoon as a prime example of basically, and that's the difference between, as James said, setting a tone, or as we like to say, set a tone or set the atmosphere. At the end of the day, and versus him coming in and saying, "Hey, look, you got to remember this," which helped me to once again regather my thoughts and shift my mind to a place like, okay, you know what? He right. I can't let this trivial thing keep me from what's important at hand, which put me back in position to sit up there and set the atmosphere right for the podcast, which was indeed a powerful one.
It turned out to be
but we definitely, as Cashlin said, you need those people. You need those people in your corner because it's true. We don't always have good days. We don't always sit up there and have the best attitude, whatever the case may be. But you need them. You need them people in your corner that can sit up there and when they recognize that, help you shift all of that. Help you to sit up there and be like, you know what? I understand this happened, but don't let this one particular thing ruin the rest of your day or the rest of your week.
Mm-hmm. That's why I say you can't be independent. Okay? America, we're independent, but we have allies. That don't make sense, right? So my point is, you can't be independent. No one's done anything on their own. That's virtually and physically impossible. There's no way. There's no way to say that your teacher or your dad or your mom or some random stranger or some bum or some homeless guy or some drugs, whatever it is, it impacted you, positive or negative, to make you do what you do, regardless.
I think it's also worth mentioning that
Daddy John.
Even the best of us have been influenced in some way to make some decisions that we wouldn't have made if we didn't have that toxic energy around us. Like it could be as simple as gossiping about somebody else, or bullying, or doing just making bad decisions.
3J, come here. Give me the mail.
And that's why it's important to remove those things and replace them with influences and other energy that are going to help you better yourself.
But then again, do you have to remove the toxic energy, or can you balance it out?
Yes.
You understand my point?
Remove it. Cancel it. Control.
I say remove it, because you don't need toxic energy. You don't need toxic
well,
energy.
Well, you do. You got to balance.
I mean, I don't feel like you should have to balance something if you don't want it around you.
No, I don't disagree with that. Like, I'm not telling you to, get raped. I'm not saying that whatsoever. What I am saying is what I am saying is that too much of anything isn't good. Remember, you got a scale, okay? It balances each other out, right? So, how do you know what's good? Because you saw evil. The one thing my father always taught me, he said, how do you know a glass is dirty? By putting a clean one next to it. You have to have good and evil, or duality or polarity, to understand the opposite. Like, does that make sense? So, sometimes I don't have to remove that negative energy. I just add positive to balance my life out. Because what happens is that negative energy is still energy.
That concept is like saying I'm going to eat French fries and then have a salad just to balance my diet out.
And low key, that makes sense. It makes sense. Listen,
that's still not healthy.
No, I can eat French fries if I work out harder the next day or the same day. That's a whole fact. Some people eat what they want to eat and work out just so they can eat what they want to eat. Right? And then some people eat because some people told them these are healthy, but too much of anything isn't great. Okay? Too much protein, you got a protein buildup. Too much calcium, you got a calcium buildup. Too much spinach, you need protein. So my point is, too much of anything isn't good. But sometimes, I'm not saying all the time, sometimes I got negative energy, I just replace it with positive. I don't remove it, because sometimes I need those people who are negative in my circle to see the positive. Does that make sense? We all got those negative people in our circle. Don't tell me you're removing them out your life. What are you doing? You putting people around them so that way they can see the whole positive thing too.
Now, what I'll say about that is, sometimes. But sometimes I do release people back into the wild, which they came. Because
I don't disagree with that.
You gotta understand, because you can bring positive people around certain people and they'll still be negative. So what, I'm gonna bring you around my positive friends so you can mess up their energy? Not everybody's the same. Not everybody would be like me. Like, I don't need your energy.
But that's the thing.
If I'm at a party and we're all at a party and nobody's dancing,
right?
You're not dancing. What that mean to me? I'm gonna dance regardless. I'm gonna get it popping in here. If I got a drink in my hand and nobody else got a drink in their hand, what that mean? I'm gonna get you all drinks. We all drinking together. We gonna have fun.
But does that mean the energy is positive, right? Because too much positive, you get fucking electrocuted, right? Touche, right? Understand what I'm saying? I'm saying don't take this the spiritual way, and things like that. But what I'm saying is that you gotta have a balance. Okay, you ever just have positive, yo, listen, I need a balance, right? Sometimes you be telling yourself I know something's gonna go wrong. Sometimes that's your way of balancing life out. Sometimes that's just complete negativity. Sometimes it's stupidity. But sometimes it's balancing life out, because how do I achieve my next goal if nothing is there for me to strive for? Does that kind of so what I'm saying is that sometimes too much positive is your positive, right? Because some people think you got to drink in order to have fun. And then some people are like, listen, bro, I'm at a kickback. I ain't got to dance. And you're like, whoa, let's dance. And I'm like, bro, although you're being positive, that's not my positive energy.
I ain't talking about kickbacks, though. I'm talking about club party. The whole mood parties have changed.
No, and I get it. But what I'm saying, everybody's vibe or everybody's energy is different. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't have a TV in my bedroom, okay? Specifically because when you come to my bedroom, we fucking or we going to sleep. That's why. That's it. Okay? Where you got other people who are like, hey, why don't you put a TV in your bedroom so that way you can have a different, energy? And I get it. It's just not my energy. It doesn't mean it's not positive. But in my life, I may see it as negative. And then your life, you see it as positive. Because your positive energy is not always positive to me. You like to fornicate with multiple females. Is that positive to me? Not at all. But it's positive in your life. But you understand my point, though? Like, everybody got different, positive things and what they feel that are positive. Too much positive is not good. Hell, HIV positive is not good, right? That part. You hear me? Okay? So, that's all I'm saying.
I got you. I
That's my opinion. That is my opinion.
No, I mean, I see what you're saying. I mean,
I just try to balance myself out.
I see what you're saying because it sounds like, to me, if you're a positive person, you have a negative person, you can try to uplift that person and, not change their mindset, but help them to understand certain things.
Well, you got to understand, right?
Instead of throwing them away and saying, just because you're negative, I can't fuck with you at all.
That's what I'm saying. There's a balance. Understand this, right? Mm-hmm. So here's my philosophy, right? Jesus had different disciples from different areas for different energy. Okay? So you take Saul, who was a persecutor, burning niggas left and right, right? Why would he want that energy? That's negative energy. He was killing people.
Then Saul turned into Paul?
Correct. But don't get it twisted. That's the spiritual person, right? Remember, Paul was a spiritual name. Don't forget Saul was the man name. You hear me? That's why every time,
I get it. He was
right?
He had that negative energy about him, but once he walked into faith and he had he seen the positive energy.
But that's moral.
Okay, I get it.
That's moral. Right. Understand what I'm saying? You got to understand.
Brother.
No. What I'm saying is that people always like, oh, like Jesus was perfect. And I'm like, spiritually he was perfect, but as man he wasn't. Like, Jesus was afraid to die. That's as a man. Right?
Exactly.
Understand what I'm saying? As a man. Okay? So as a man, I don't know, I wasn't there, but as a man, he was afraid to die. Is that a flaw? I think in the spiritual world, that's a flaw, right? But on the spiritual realm, like he was perfect. That's why every time he prayed to his Father, his disciples went away. And every time people bum rush Jesus, he told his disciples, hey, yo, it's okay. Like, don't beat him up right now. Like, he rolled around with gangsters, bro. It wasn't like he was just rolling around with some, oh, okay, here we go. Like, no, he rolled around with people like, yo, test me if you want to. We walking. So it's just one of those things where, like, there's a balance. Sometimes, like, you ever just like, oh, shoot, I'm going to go shooting or target practice, or I'm going to go, like, skip a rock. Like, you just want to do some negative energy. Like, whatever your negative is, you balance yourself out.
I hear you.
And sometimes, and women call it PMS, right? We call it menstruating. You hear me? Right? So that's the balance. Just like as little boys, we come up as men, we have wet dreams. That's our body creating a homeostasis. It's a balance in our hormones. Too much of anything is not good.
Damn, I'm gonna have to cut back from some things. I think I got too much of it.
No, sometimes you do, like, and sometimes you do, like, there's never good to have, like, again, too much water, you'll die. Okay, like, that's just my basic analogy. It is what it is. Okay, like, you can take this spiritually and be like, well, too much of Jesus is not enough. Okay, fine. You got me. You won. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I wouldn't say that. But it is people who do say stuff like they try to. It's like
that's
they
the spiritual
try to argue with you and debate with you.
Well, because that's spiritual and that's faith that deals with feeling and a belief that deals with your heart. Logic stuff deals with your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Think about it from when you were a little lad. You had the story of the 3 little pigs. They had the same parents, but they each built a house different. Why? Because one built it with the heart and one did a hybrid and one did it logically. But they had the same parents. That lesson was, you can still get messed up, but you got to be smart. Okay? You can think or believe that you got a good house, but Is that logical? And sometimes you need faith, or sometimes you need belief when you're making decisions. Don't be so logical all the time. Have a little emotion when you buy something. Have a little emotion when you talk to your kids or mom, dad, or whoever it is in your life.
I hear you. Thank you to Real James. Listen, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with Just Ask Bear.
Grab your life vest, everybody. This is the King of the Quiet Storm here, Jay Cam. Stay strapped in for Just Ask Bear podcast.
What's good, guys? It's your girl, Bestie, aka Bestie 2.0, and you are currently tuned in to Soulful Sundays.
Thank you for tuning in for Soulful Sundays with Born a Champ. I am Kamisha Red from the Red Late Night Talk Show.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Just Ask Bear, and I am King of all bears. We still have with us right now the Real James, and we're keeping it funky right now. The subject is energy, and is it necessary? Now, he made some valid points, about the balance of the type of energy you have around you. You can have your positive energy, and there can be negative energy. Too much positive energy can be negative, and I understand it. Because for me, before I spoke to James today, I thought to myself that because I want to try to live a positive life, or I want to live in a positive light, and I want to have positive energy, that I must cancel out negative energy. That there should be no negative energy around me at all. And now I understand that, even though you can be positive, you need some negative energy to keep the balance. Because, this is how I'm seeing it, is that you can become a better person from it too.
Mm-hmm. That's called a testimony. How do you know you overcame something? That part.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta know negative to appreciate the positive.
Exactly. You gotta struggle in order to know what it feels like when you're wealthy. You don't want to go back. But yeah, I definitely understand that. I like the way you put things into perspective, and the different analogies you use, and how you speak on things, and the way you brought the whole, religion.
Daddy's on the phone, okay? Because my personal gift is just like, I don't want to say regurgitation because it sounds like somebody's throwing up, but my gift is able to, I guess, explain or deliberate some information. Well, I don't want to say effectively communicate, right? Because we can communicate and it be garbled or, bundled. And think about it like a spam email or spam mail that you get at your house. Is that mail meant for everyone? No, it's only meant for the people who, you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, right, you get what I'm saying? That's where it comes from, the comprehension, the question. My bad, bro. My headphones died. So that's what I mean. I just try to keep a balance. Like, again, sometimes that's why it sounds kind of weird, but every time I go to church afterwards, I go to the shooting range and I shoot.
Oh, that's different.
You know what I mean?
That's different.
But that's my balance. You get what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's just how it works. Why do you get sexually stimulated? It's because your hormones are unbalanced. Okay, it is what it is. How do you freeze something if it was never unthawed? It's polarity. It's duality. That's why it's always good and evil. That's why. It's just a balance. You know, it's just and that's what I try to keep, just a balance. And I mainly see it in my kids. Like, one of them is just like his mom, one of them is just like me, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Like, and they balance each other out. The one make me upset, then the other one makes me happy. And I'm like, wow, then I didn't appreciate the positives, I saw the negative. It wouldn't have made me happy if the negative didn't come first.
I could figure deal that. I understand that. It's just like, you know, it's different. Like, I've never thought of it in that way. Like, I'm going to definitely use this in a conversation with, you know, people around me. When they talk about, oh, now I got to cancel out all this negative energy or the memes you see. I'm like, why you canceling out the negative energy? You need negative with positive. That's just how the world goes around. I'm going to try to hit them with any and everything at one time. Yeah, nah. But, yeah. I just felt like I've never really spoken to someone on that level about energy. Or, like, we've had conversations about energy, but when you have conversations with people about energy, they always try to say the same thing, like, oh yeah, I don't want that negative energy around me. Get that out of here. But then when you put it in perspective of, you know, balancing the negative with the positive, it just all makes sense.
Well, think about your friends, right? Think about your friends, okay? Because you got to understand, even on science, right? If you take a nucleus and all these electrons and all these, you know what I'm saying, neutrons, like, again, it's a balance, right? Not everything, but, you know, for the most part, they have electrons and, you know, and they balance each other out, right? So, you ever notice how, like, one friend may know all the positive things about you and the other friend knows all the negative things about you, but then somehow all three of y'all can go hang out?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, one dude, you may... No? I got one dude who, like, we smash, like, mad females together, right? On some negative stuff, right? Just running through females. And then the other dude's like, oh, you know, he's like my childhood friend. He only knows the good things about me. Not like the Marine Corps and the military side about me. But yeah, we all, right? So we all bond on, like, the same ground, whatever that may be. We all bond on the simple fact that we go to the same church. But, like,
so the bonding force is positive. So it's somebody,
correct.
So it's somebody knowing the negative and reinforcing the positive. So don't necessarily think about accepting or balancing the negative. Is encouraging the positive energy
or encouraging the negative energy. You know what I'm saying? Because
you're not encouraging negative because y'all bonded at church.
No, we didn't bond at church. Our bond is church. Does that make sense? Okay, so just hear me out real quick. We all got that cousin or that friend who we call when some stuff goes down. That's the man or the woman side of us, right? You like, bro, listen, someone just shot my mom. I need you to blow that whole house up ASAP. You hear me, right? That's the negative side, right? Quote unquote. Then we all have that person who we call when we need prayer, right? That's that positive side. Mm-hmm. We all got cousins and friends who really about that life. And the moral thing is that it's negative. And you understand what I'm saying? Like, you need those people a part of your life because you need to see, you have to understand or get that energy of what you, like, when I see clowns at the club, I'm like, I know what not to be. Sometimes I need that negative energy so I know what not to be. Again, because of negative energy doesn't mean I have to absorb it. Does that make sense? I don't have to.
I think where I'm not understanding it is you're saying, like, out in the family scenario, is you're talking about that cousin that will go do something that a person is not negative or positive. The energy they give off is. So the way that you call on your cousin, you call on your cousin to do that negative thing or evoke that negative energy is not your relationship. The relationship, the energy y'all have between each other is positive.
Sometimes I don't have, like, for instance, like, I'm going to keep it a whole stack with you. I have no relationship with my cousin. I just call him when I need some stuff done.
You gotta have
Yeah, that's
some
a
kind of
fact.
bond with this person if you're gonna call
It's
them
because
if
of
you
blood.
want
That's
to do
blood.
something.
That is the only bond is blood. Sometimes it's only blood. Sometimes it's the fact that we went to the same high school. Sometimes we Eskimo brothers, we smash the same chick. You know what I mean? Like whatever that bond is, whatever keeps y'all bonded. Like there's no big facts, right? Whatever that bond is, it doesn't matter what bonds you two together or 4 of you or 5 of you together. But for my cousin, there's no bond other than blood. I'm like, bro, I need some stuff done. I know he's that guy. Why? Because I accept that person because they're real. They're going to be true to who they are. It's not like I'm forcing you to be something you're not. If you're always a liar, no. Feeding means you need the energy. Yo, listen. Oh, damn. I just talked about this in my last broadcast last week. All right. When you feed, right, that means you're hungry, right? What I'm saying is that means you're encouraging or fueling or adding like fuel to the fire for the fire to continue. When the fire is already there, and you're like, so this is a fire, it's never blowing out. You're like, nah, bro, that's the everlasting fire. Okay, well, let me add some fuel to it. You're not adding to the fire because that fire is always going to exist. Again, that's part of being real. If you're always a liar, and I'd be like, yo, bro, can you lie for me? Like, yo, I got you. Yo, real, I got you, bro. Like, yo, this dude always lies. Like, bro, I just need you to lie for me real quick. That's who he is. It's just like when you ask your pastor, yo, can you pray for me? That's who he is. He prays. It's not like I'm telling you to do something that's not you. You're a pastor, you pray. I ask you to pray. You kind of like McDonald's. I'm only asking you to do your job. You got a problem with doing your job? That's who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it sounds kind of crazy because it's negative stuff. Like, I get it. Like, I totally get it. Like, this just sounds like kind of like insane. And I get it because I too low key think it's insane. But what I'm saying is, that's the whole thing. Is that it's a balance. Hold on.
All right, we'll take a commercial break. We'll be right back after these messages.
What's up, everybody? It's your man, King of All Bears, and you're tuned in to Soulful Sundays podcast.
Grab your life vest, everybody. This is the King of the Quiet Storm here, Jay Cam. Stay strapped in for Just Ask Bear podcast.
What's poppin'? It's your girl Bestie, and you guys are tuned in to Just Ask Bear.
Welcome back to another episode. Well, my bad. Commercial break. Thank you for tuning in to Just Ask Bear podcast. We're definitely on every single platform, you guys. Shout out to YouTube. And shout out to the independent broadcasters. We have independent broadcaster Cashlin Official in the building for the first time. Good afternoon, Cashlin. How you doing? We also have the Real James, independent broadcaster and a former producer of the DJ Joe Brown Morning Talk Show. Okay. Also, independent podcaster Born Champ, and of course, the one and only Bestie. Okay. And then we also have who is the man of the hour, the one and only king of all bears, right here from the Just Ask Bear podcast. Bear, what's up, man?
Man, I'm the man of the lifetime. Anyway, listen.
Oh, I like that. All right, now. Okay. That's a
You
new
know,
one.
we still talking about energy.
Okay.
The negative and the positive. And it's definitely been a strong topic. Definitely was a strong topic today. And like I said before, it gave me new light on the situation. And I'm gonna go forth and, I'm gonna try to change a little bit. Not compromising, but I'm gonna try to change some things. I mean, I can't even say that is new for me because, people around me, they know I have a friend. I'm not gonna say his name. But he's he's a wild boy. But I always try to keep him around, to keep him out of trouble. when I can. And, you know,
all right, Daddy's about to pee. I'm gonna open the back door, okay? All right.
Now I see the positive and the negative.
Yeah, I'm gonna unlock it.
Energy with that, because I definitely bring the positive energy when he brings the negative energy. And he is my boy. He's been my boy since we was little kids. And I see the changes in his life and what he goes through. So I try to make here a safe haven for him, you know, when I can. So I definitely do understand that. And I feel like some things I probably had some things wrong in life when it came to negative energy and positive energy. And I would definitely like to thank the real James for enlightening.
Yo, bro, but listen, bro, some things is only to create a balance. Understand that though, right? It's only to create a balance. Does that make sense? Like, it's not that like every negative energy is good and every positive energy is good, or every negative energy is bad. It's only to create the balance. That's what's important, the balance. If you don't have the balance, then that's where it mess up at. Because sometimes we got negative people in our lives and we have to cut them short because there's no balance. Like, does that make sense? Like, there's no balance. You see, like, and that's why I try to tell you, like, my cousin, like, yo, we have no, like, really, like, I don't vibe with him like that. Like, yo, I got a poker tournament, yo, come to the crib. Nah, homie. Why? Because together, under, like, friends, yo, you can't vibe with us. Because your negative energy is so strong, bro, we don't vibe with that. Like,
twin.
Because, again, I don't flip burgers, but I appreciate the people who do flip burgers.
At least the ones that do it right.
No, and that part, right? Again, I always tell anybody, if you break into my house, do the greatest job you can ever do. Don't half-ass and break into my house. You're going to get shot. You know what I mean? Like, you know, do whatever you do in life, give 100%. Whatever that is. Not everybody can be this perfect Jesus. Okay, like, hey, some of y'all got to do this and some of y'all got to do that. Just appreciate that we all have different crafts and different specialties, you know, and things like that. Anytime we think differently, that's our prejudice. We prejudge people before we get to know them.
Yes.
Like when I first met, like DJ and I, yo, he came flaming at my head, bro. Like, boom, with the jokes. Bah, 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 bah. Boom, 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 boom. Like, bro, I can't even make this up. Flaming, bro. Flaming.
Joe?
Bro. Joe, am I lying, bro? Is he here?
Joe's here, but he's doing something. I can't believe it because Joe's not funny to me.
No, he's funny. Like, no, he's funny, bro. Like, Joe is, like, mad funny. Like I ain't even trying to, like, whatever ride or how you want to call it, but, yo, he's funny. Like, he got a good sense of humor. You know what I mean? Like, that's a fact. Anybody who, like, I'm in his broadcast right now. He got to have a good sense of humor. If you're not making me laugh, bro, I'm not about to come into your broadcast.
I feel you.
Am I biased? Yeah. I told a female the other day, she said, oh, my grandma died. I'm like, that's it. I don't hear none of that other sad shit. Again, we're done. We're done. Because you're saying something, how old your grandma? 90? She is supposed to die. Okay? Like, and that's it. That's it.
Damn.
I mean, yo, call it what you call it. Is it heartless? Or maybe, but don't come to my broadcast with the sad stuff. We all got problems.
Now,
yo,
that I do understand because I do not like, you know what I mean? Especially
yo, I come to Live Me to chill, bro. This is my therapy, bro. I don't come here to hear about your grandma having cancer or you having cancer, bro. Go to a different broadcast. Like, and no disrespect. I'm just not here for that energy. Is that positive energy for somebody? Absolutely, because maybe they need uplifted. But it's negative energy for my broadcast. That part.
Yeah, because it could definitely change. That's a situation that could definitely change your mood.
That's a whole fact.
And please don't change my mood when I'm happy and I'm feeling and I'm vibing. We having our wild conversations, and then you come in talking about something. Nah, I don't like that.
Bro, that's like but you in a whole room full of females. Yeah, that's like you being in a room full of females, and one girl walks in like, I got gonorrhea. You're like, whoa, you done you didn't like yo, you done messed the whole mood up. You know what I mean? Like yo, what? Like yo, we're not even about to talk right now.
People do that.
It's just like that.
People are coming to my broadcast, and they know for a fact how I am. And I'm not going to go into great details, but people will use their strong, intelligent energy, and they will compromise. Not. I don't even want to use the word compromise. I don't know why I would use the word compromise, but they will sit up there and initially blow shit up through their energy. And because their energy is so powerful, you know, it's kind of sad that people also know how to manipulate the situation or any situation. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I am going to use this example, and Bear, correct me if I'm wrong. Last night, when we was doing the podcast, okay, now I'm pretty smart with it too. I knew to get off the air just to say what I had to say to you know who, J Music. You know what I'm saying? And I hear what you were saying, but I also know without a shadow of a doubt that he knew what was going on in my broadcast. Can't nobody in the world tell me otherwise, because he did the appropriate things when it was time to go on commercial break, when we was on mute. You feel me? And it just really ticked me off when he told you that he did not know that it was a legit podcast. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that you have to know that it's a legit podcast, but if you know the vibes, and if you hear us transitioning from one commercial break to another commercial break and saying the appropriate things, talking and acting, all of these true things that's going on, reality should have set in. Was like, okay, whoa, this is something real. Let me, you know what I'm saying? Let me chill. He really tried to set that tone. And I'm glad that his Wi-Fi was goofy enough not to piss me off even more, because his Wi-Fi was definitely messing up, and I transitioned right onto what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? So thank you, universe. I thank the universe for his Wi-Fi acting up and not ruining Bestie's episode. You get what I'm saying? So I do believe that we have the power to fight energies that we just don't want. And I understand positive and negative energy balances off, you know, but on the flip side, on the other side of town of energy, you have the power to initiate anything that you want. You know what I'm saying? So whether you're trying to balance it out or not, if I don't want your energy, and if I don't want your vibes, I don't have to have your vibes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, like as far as, especially with this Beam thing here on livemeet.com, make sure you follow us at DJ Joe Brown, The Real James, Bestie, Petty, Born a Champ, Cashlin Official, Queen Nisha, and My Bear Catch Juices. You know what I'm saying? Especially.
Hey, yo, DJ, real quick. I'm trying to follow your productions, by the way. I'm done. I'm out.
On IG? Yeah, we're on IG. DJ Joe Brown Productions.
No, it's about on here, bro. I'm just gonna mute myself though.
Okay. Especially with this Beam thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell you all the time, Bear. You feel me? You gotta gain control over all of your situations, all of your different type of beams. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be a podcast, broadcast, you already got control of your broadcast. And you know, it's sometimes the reason why I'm tell you the reason why Bestie always do her podcast and my podcast, because she know that this is a safe broadcast, because there are certain energies that conflicts in her broadcast. Same thing with Red. Until they learn how to deal with those energies, and they're learning, because they notice how me and you deal with our broadcast. You know what I'm saying? They're paying attention to that. You feel me? They know we don't just accept anything. So they're in learning mode. You know what I'm saying? They know that, okay, I'm safe. And that's a good feeling to have when somebody tell you that, Joe, I'm safe over here. You know what I'm saying? My energy is very protected over here. I feel comfortable with being here. When a person tells you that, that should add so much value to you as a characterism, all that. That should add so much value when you hear those words. Because I want friends. I want to be able to be safe in people broadcast. I want to be able to, you know what I'm saying, I don't want to be interrupted on the vibes. You know what I'm saying? And if I know your broadcast is one of the safest places for me right now in my vulnerable state, there you go now. Have you ever been in a vulnerable mood to where you don't have no safety net, no covenant? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think we all have.
You come here, what is my job to do? I'm supposed to protect. I'm responsible for y'all right now in this. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's just off rip.
Hey, yo, Joe, I'm about to ride your coattail real quick, but Joe like uplifts so many people, but sometimes we forget that sometimes he needs uplifting.
Yeah, you know what I went
That
through
be the
last
kicker.
year.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Joe, I know. But I'm saying sometimes we forget that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes we like, damn. Like, he's always uplifting us. Like, who's uplifting him? And then sometimes we feel like just because we just started or we're new that we can't uplift someone else. But I learned from a 2-year-old and from an 82-year-old. So again, it's that energy because you know good energy or negative energy. When I see clowns at the club, I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you for that negative energy. I know what not to be. It became a positive in my life.
Yeah, I mean, I feel exactly what you're saying, and Joe, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, because I mean, definitely in my broadcast, I like to maintain control because I want things to turn out the way I want them to turn out. And I mean, somebody might not like it, but oh well, it is what it is. That's just how I am.
Right.
But
and I guess
go ahead.
my bad, bro. I'm gonna say I guess I'm the opposite. I guess because like I'm a single dad, like I'm always in control. That when I do my broadcast, I'll be like, yo, I want to take a break. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, let the broadcast flow however it flows. And some people like it and some people don't. But for me, I'm like, yo, let me see where the energy goes. Like, let me see how it flows. And honestly, that's how I live my life day by day. Like, what are you doing tomorrow? If I wake up tomorrow, I'm going to do this. I have plans, but no certainties. Nothing in life is certain but death. So I don't just, I got goals and ambitions and stuff like that. But I just wake up, I'm like, wake up, ask myself, how can I be a better man today? And boom, I keep pushing. But I really don't know. Like, I just be like, okay, here's a new day. Why? Because every day, like you said, I don't wake up holier than thou every day. Some days I'm like, yo, listen, I wish I don't have kids. Some days I'm like, yo, can I turn these kids in? Like, where's the receipt for these kids? Some days I'm like, yo, fuck, I don't like my ex-wife. Like, yo, where the hell is she at? Like, I hope this bitch die. The next day I'm like, yo, I'm so glad I met her and blah, blah, blah. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, that's that energy. You know, and just like Joe Brown was saying, you see the smile on my face, but my heart might be somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and again, it's spam mail. Joe may pick up on the fact like, yo, James, you all right? You may not pick up on it because you're not part of that spam mail. You got the mail, but it wasn't your delivery, if that makes sense. Like, yo, you got it, but the message wasn't for you.
Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying.
Understand, everybody's in the same church, right? But maybe only one person in the group of three was like, oh, damn, that was for me. And you like, nigga, I'm never coming back to this church. It wasn't for you. But we all got the same spam mail.
Yep. So listen,
You know what
I'd
I'm
like to thank everybody who came out today for this podcast. Definitely a cool guy, the real James. I enjoyed your conversation. Pastor and official, I enjoyed your conversation.
MJ, 3J,
Brown is always
get in the house
a pleasure.
now. Okay.
And
All right.
signing out. Just as Bear, King of all bears.
You can't even see out here. What you got? Like night vision goggles? You can still see in the dark? Can you see outside right now?
Grab your life vest, everybody. This the King of the Quiet Storm here, Jay Cam. Stay strapped in for Just Ask Bear podcast.
Thank you for tuning in to Just Ask Bear podcast. It was brought to you by plethora of things, okay? But I'm going to let the commercial tell you all of that. All right, shout out to everybody in the broadcast. You just heard a former producer from the DJ Joe Brown Morning Talk Show way back, throwback. He's back, the real James. And shout out to Bear for creating this amazing podcast. Thank you so much, Bear.
Man, anytime. What's up, everybody? It's your man, King of All Bears, and you're tuned in to Soulful Sundays podcast.
Grab your life vest, everybody. This the King of the Quiet Storm here, Jay Cam. Stay strapped in for Just Ask Bear podcast.
What's poppin'? It's your girl Bestie, and you guys are tuned in to Just Ask Bear.